One of the things that always bothers me about NBA fans, and even myself included sometimes, is how quick we are to judgment of a player's ability shortly after they enter the league. Leading up to the draft and then after a player is drafted, young players are constantly being compared to other NBA players they draw similarities to in terms of their style of play, what is their ceiling, what is their floor, things of that nature. And if they don't perform right away to the expectations of them, people are quick to label them as a bust, or the opposite, if they exceed expectations. People are quick to call them a future superstar. Guys like Tyreke Evans, Michael Carter-Williams come to mind. And this also applies to our own Bulls players, with the expectations we place on them at a very young age, and how quick we are to judge early on in their career if they don't meet what we expected of them. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I want to talk about Coby White, because I've been seeing a lot of comments lately, whether it's on this channel, the Discord page, which is a link in the description, by the way, or even just other Bulls fans on Twitter, but their extreme criticisms of Coby White, saying he's a bust, we need to trade him ASAP, he's the worst defender in the league, we would only be able to trade him for a second-round pick, that's all he's worth. Some people are even saying we need to send him down to the G League so he can develop further. The funny thing about Coby White is that you also hear the complete opposite take, saying that he's going to be an all-star this year, that we should be building around him rather than Zach LaVine. If you've been watching my hot takes, Wednesday hot takes videos, I've actually covered these hot takes together, showing the drastic differences in opinion of Coby White from Bulls fans. And of course, these takes and comments have been heightened in the past couple of days after Coby's subpar performances in the Bulls' last two games, particularly the game where he had 0 points. Now, I myself have been critical of Coby as well. I've said it quite a few times that my issue with Coby is all about his consistency, and that he'll have flashes of playing like an all-star, and then he'll have games where, again, he has 0 points. You just never really know what kind of Coby White you're going to get on any given night. But what I wanted to remind my viewers of is that Coby White has not even played a full 82 games in his NBA career. This is only his second season in the league. He's 20 years old, and honestly, the progress that he's made in that short amount of time has actually been pretty solid. He's shooting the ball better, he's passing the ball better, and his plus minus on the court has improved from his rookie season. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of aspects of Coby's game that need to be worked on, namely his defense, his turnovers, his passing has to be improved, as our starting point guard. He needs to become a better facilitator and playmaker on the court, but again, he's early in his career, and need I remind all of us how people were quick to judge guys like Steph Curry, calling him a bust early on in his rookie and sophomore seasons. Now, before you all load up on me in the comments for comparing Steph Curry to Coby White, I am not comparing them as players, nor am I saying that Coby White has the potential to become Steph Curry. No, I'm simply drawing a comparison between what we know as great players, superstars, and future Hall of Famers today, who had slow starts to their careers, and fans that were quick to judge what type of player they would be before they even developed into their own. I mean, you can even say that about guys like Giannis and Kawhi Leonard. You can put them into that category and how they started out their careers. Again, I'm not comparing Coby to these players, but rather how they started out in the NBA. They started out a little bit slower. And we forget, for all intents and purposes, Coby White is actually having a solid sophomore season. He's had a couple of bad games most recently, but by the numbers and how he's progressed for his age, 16 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 5.9 assists. I mean, these are decent numbers for anybody in their second year in their league. And guys, let's not forget, it's not like he was a number 1 overall pick or a huge hype coming out of high school or college. He was the number 7 pick, and granted, that's still a lottery pick, and as Bulls fans, we all have high expectations of highly drafted players, but for a number 7 pick at the age of 20 in his second season, he's performed quite well. Still a lot to learn, obviously, but I think we as Bulls fans get way too ahead of ourselves sometimes in labeling players this early on in their careers. What I really like about Coby White is that you can tell he has the desire to make himself the best player that he can be. He's always looking for learning opportunities, new challenges, and learning from his mistakes. You see that in his press interviews and comments from coaching staff about him. And then last night, you saw him after the game working out and putting up shots after having back-to-back struggling nights from the floor. And that's what you want to see as a Bulls fan. Your young guys not getting complacent, but rather focusing on continuing to get better, having the presence of mind that there is still a lot to learn as a player, understanding the areas of improvement that need to be worked on, rather than some young players in the league who don't have that work ethic and think they're a lot better than they actually are. So guys, my point is, Coby White is still very early in his career in the NBA. He's still learning, and a good thing is that he has a coach that is a great player development coach. Does he have a lot of work to work on? Absolutely, but he has shown promise thus far in the beginning of his career. And I think we all need to take a step back and realize that a player's NBA career is a process. And with the right mentality in place, which I believe Coby has, and the right coaching staff, he will develop into being a fine player. I'm not going to say he's going to be a superstar or a future Hall of Famer like some fans are saying. No, I think that is way too premature, but I also think it's incredibly premature to say he's a bust and we must trade him now. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about Coby White, though. I know a lot of you have already shared your thoughts and opinions, obviously, since that's what prompted me to make this video, but let me know what you guys think of my thoughts on Coby White. Whether there's aspects of his game and overall career that I'm potentially neglecting. Anyway, as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan and you enjoy daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.